YouTube was good. Mace back with another video. So I'm back. Wasn't active in the market like I say Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Just got my funded account this morning. Purchased the challenge. I want to be doing like I say live session with you guys, letting you see the ins and outs on how I take my positions, what I do, the psychology of it, the patience, the pain, the struggle, the punch in the walls, the punch in the air, the oxen, God, why. But before I get into all that, I just want to give you guys the word of the day in James 1:17. For every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of the heavenly lights, who does not change like shifting shadows. So the good work and the perfect gift that God gives you is whatever talent He gave you. You should use your talents for good. Everything that He gave you, that's installed inside you, is for good and should be only used for good, not for evil desires, not to harm people, not to hurt people, to uplift people, to help people in need. So, for the knowledge that I've gained of trading for the past few years, I feel it's a gift that God has given me, and I want to give it back to you guys. And whenever you guys have questions, whatever you guys, any concerns, if you feel like I could do better with something, if you feel like I could use some type of other indicator, you feel like I'm just babbling too much, let me know. I'm here to help. It's God's will, it's God's plan. Everything's for God, to give Him glory, because He deserves it all. But at the moment, Nas broke structure here that took place last night. This is a gap that's on Nas, gap on us30, gap on Nas. All these are gaps at the moment that took place yesterday, just like last week Sunday. So at the moment, I'm just waiting to see what 9:30 is about to do in the next 2 minutes. Price is just ranging at the moment. So price finally broke this area, but it's ranging. This is the 15 minute as well. So this is a nice break of the structure. It's ranging now. So price could try to sell back now. Price could start to actually buy. I'm not sure. I'm not taking a chance, because if I would take a chance, the old Mason would have taken a chance where he would have put an entry there, a stop loss below these lows, and I would have tried to target a 2 to 1 and call it one over for my phase one to be over. That's a risk you have to be willing to take. But I'll just be waiting patiently for whatever take place. I'll just be waiting patiently to see what the market does. They might not be a trading day, because they not really have no setup during the 7 o'clock hours. Usually because of the same gap, there isn't any setup to actually take. So I'll just be waiting to see what takes place. Gold wouldn't really be in the factor of all that, because gold isn't an indices, so they don't open up during stock exchange hours. So yeah, let's see what these pairs are ready to do. So it's 9:30 now. Stock exchange open up. Let's see what these bad boys are willing and ready to do. So US30 started off one short selling. So you see how this would trick some people. You see how the 925 candle started to be bullish, but look where it actually went right back to the same trend line that I drew a little bit earlier today. It broke structure because this made a, what do you call it? It made an inverted head and shoulder pattern over the night. Bought up, supposed to retest these areas as a resistance or even as a demand. Did tap into the demand, started to buy, but failed, and you would have got stopped out. So we're gonna be very careful of that. And that's because it's out of session too, so there isn't really that much momentum on your side to actually say, okay, you're gonna trade this. Price look like it's starting to break the structure highs, which would be, let me see which would be my structure high, because I'm looking for my lows. So this was a high, this became a low, this became an equal high in a way. So this became a low. So I would use this right now as a structure high. This right now, I would use this as a structure high. I'll see if price would break this and close. If so, then I have to start to look for entries to say, okay, what entries can I take to carry it about here? Now when price breaks this, then I'm looking for buys to start to head back up to all these highs right there, to fill in them gaps. Other than that, I'll just be waiting. Notice Nas ain't really doing anything as much yet. Nas still ranging. Nas is also making a head and shoulder on the 15 minute. If you can see, on the 15 minutes making a head and shoulder pattern. So be very mindful and careful of that. With the shoulder, of the head, which was a fake out, because price pushed up, broke that, and then came right back down the same size candle. So be very careful of that. But that's the head. This is the shoulder. So you want to be careful that price doesn't break the neckline of that to actually start selling. So that's what I'm looking at. And it also hasn't even tapped back into this little resistance areas yet, which I was hoping it would have. But let's see what it's going to do, because we don't know what price wants to do. We don't predict price, we react to it. But yeah, SPX, let's see what SPX is doing. SPX also, like I said, it's in a range. 15-minute consolidation right there. 5-minute consolidation right there. Still hasn't broken anything yet. So let's see if price wants to break these highs. If so, then we'll start to have our buy bias to say, okay, we can start to look for more potential buys throughout the day. But let's don't forget that news is at 10 o'clock today as well. It's a red full news at 10 a.m. So we'll be mindful of that as well. And I still see gold heading back to these all-time highs. Gold is just heading back to these all-time highs, so I'm not really focused on gold at the moment. All-time highs, so it's a gamble at times to say if gold is going to go higher now, higher, or if gold actually wants to start to sell. What I would do now, me personally, I have this area right now. I would just, because I'll be looking for more sells than buys, because it's really at the all-time high. So eventually price is going to sell eventually. So I would just put, for me, and my mind be calm and everything, I would just look for sells. I wouldn't even try to continue looking for buys. I would just wait for price to break this little range area for sells and start looking for more sell opportunities. That's me on gold. Other than that, I think I'll just do a quick pause in this video and come back to you guys when everything is good. Before I go, you see 30 look like it's trying to break the highs. We have to see how that works out, if it's going to, if it's not going to. It broke this high now, which is nice. Let's see if it's trying to break this now. Let's see what it does from there. Now with that being said, you will be very careful, because you know this has some gap, but not too much gap to be filled. If you put, this is the gap that needs to be filled right here, it will be this from here, from this wick to this red candle right there. That would be the gap that needs to be filled. So you would have to look for 30 to come down to go back up, which is a nice trade. I think I would take that setup if 30 was to give me that pullback. I would actually take that. That's a nice setup there. Also, 30 could give you either one of these right there. 30 could actually come back, give you this retest to this zone, which is also not near this trend line, which would be a trend line breaking retest. I don't really trade them anymore. I never like trading trend line breaks and retests, but I know it could work out at times. But I look at this zone that's aligned with this trend line. That's why I said it's a nice trade. Let's see how this, if this were to start to sell now, let's see how this fib would look. Is it aligned with the, and it also aligns with the 50 and the 61 retracement. So price could potentially try to come back here like this. Could even go a little bit deeper into this little area right there to fill in some gaps to actually take off and buy some more. And you could actually buy it up to here, which would give you, let me move this. If price, let's say hypothetically price would come back there, you could have your stop loss below these lows, or even below this. It's a big stop loss now, but you could get some huge profits off of this, and you wouldn't even need all this. This is a 4 to 1 or 1 to 4 risk to reward, but you wouldn't even need all of that. So I'm just saying, like hypothetically, But I'll see what US30 does and get back to you guys. I'll have an alert set to, I don't know, I'm feeling 30 might not come all the way back down here, but if it does, better for me. So I'll add an alert to that. See if 3 won't come there. I know it's 9:37, so price could start to sell down here all the way up to 10 a.m. before buying. No news came out at 8 o'clock, but it was no setup. 9:30 I try to avoid because the market is unpredictable at 9:30. Try to avoid them. So from 9:30 to 10 o'clock, I avoid 30 minutes. So in the meantime, I'll probably be singing some praise and worship songs. Probably talk to God. Probably go look at some NBA highlights. Get something to eat. I don't know. Okay, so gold just finally came to the all-time highs. Finally, with like I was anticipating for it to come to. The more you do it, the more you actually be in the charts, the more you start to understand how it kind of moves. It's just your psychology now and not being rushy and trying to outsmart the market because you studied it so long. You try to actually shortcut what's already been implemented. You understand? So right now, like I say, I don't see price going lower than this no more. But because I don't see price going that low no more, that don't mean that the people who are controlling the market doesn't want price to just go lower for better price once more to go higher. So yes, I could have taken this US30 setup. I could have taken this US30 setup at the moment. I could have taken this NAS setup at the moment. I could have taken all these setups. These CM3 setups, I could have taken them for buys in hopes that they do buy, because this was the 925. I could have taken that 925 candle and I could have actually put this below these areas in hopes that hey, price isn't trying to sell down no more because I know it need gaps to fill. I tried to do that last week Sunday and that bite me in the butt. So I told myself, Maceo, you know better than that. You're actually doing content now for people. You gotta trade the way you actually teaching these people to trade, which is supply and demand. And then I try to show you guys that break and retest it still works. I just don't really trade them anymore. But if I don't see any supply and demand setup, I have to go on with the next setup that I'm confident in, which is the break and retest. So you should always have more than one strategy. You should also have like a book where you have strategies. So if the main strategy you're trading doesn't work out, you also have another one right under your belt, on side your pocket to say, hey, no supply and demand, but I see break and retest because it's starting to work out. Let me trade the break and retest until I start seeing supply and demand setups, and that's how we go from there. And you notice how price now is tugging on this 200 EMA. Once price breaks this 200 EMA, then I know that we're in good. Price hasn't broken this area yet, which I'm looking for price to break. So price is still in consolidation range, and it's hugging the 200 EMA. So want to be mindful of that. Price broke this area, but now I want to see if price isn't going to try to dump back down. Because if price dumps back down, then this could be a sign of a fake out once again. You have to wait for this to be broken the next time. So we'll be mindful of that. 30 actually broke this. They didn't push back down aggressively yet, so this wouldn't really be considered a fake out for me. Actually, it broke this too in a way, not with a strong enough candle, but still broken close above it. And now it's actually selling down quite nicely. It's taking its time to sell down. So like I say, if we could get some kind of sell to here, I'd even say here, because this would be a sweet entry to get to here. It looks too clean. But yeah, I think I'll give this video a pause and I'll come back probably after 10 and tell you guys if I was able to get any trades, if I wasn't able to get any trades. Yeah. YouTube, I can't make this thing up. God is good. God is good. Y'all gotta, whoever ain't tuning into God, you all need to tune into to God. You all need to accept Christ in your life. You all need to repent for everything you guys have been doing in life, all the wrongs, your thing, your that is hidden in your life. It's hindering your blessings. I can't make this thing up. I just said, okay, price. If price broke this area, I'm gonna see if price is gonna respect this resistance. If not, for more buys. Price came out, didn't respect it, so okay, now I could finally remove this because this was a resistance that got broken. I say I'm wondering if price might touch this trend line to respect this. It started to respect it, right? I say, but I want to see if price could come back to this area because there's still some gaps that could be filled. Price literally came back, top this area, started to push up, but I say, okay, I know 10 o'clock news coming out, so I don't want to trade 10 o'clock news, right? Price came, then I checked and see what the news was. The news wasn't a big, hefty news. The news was just, it was ISM, manufacturing PMI, right? So, by me knowing, I know, okay, it ain't a big, hefty news that's going to impact 30 that much as it needs to in a way. Like, it's going to give some type of impact as a red folder, obviously, right? But I mean, like, what really, really drives us30, nas, these type of, indices, I was like, okay, let me see what's going on. So, this candle came out 9:55, right? Started to break the 13 EMA, but then rejected it, right? Pushed back down. I said, okay, cool. Price came. That's why I have to be so mindful of waiting for your entries. So, price came with this next red candle, okay? When price came with this bullish candle here, I say, boy, I have to enter this. Now, when I entered it on my C Trader, I have the C Trader on my phone at the moment, right? When I entered on the C Trader, what happened is I got in a little bit later because I was trying to figure out the lot size because I had to get a cheaper account because they went up on their prices and I was like, oh, I did not know that I only had a certain amount to get a certain amount. So I went for a cheaper one. And what happened was I had to try to figure out the lot size. So the lot size, right? Time I figured the lot size, price already started to sell down a little bit. So I was like, okay, since you're gonna sell down a little bit, you doing me a favor. I don't think you're doing me a disjustice, but you're doing me a favor. God is good. So I was able to enter at this same area right here, the same wick of the same red candle. I was able to enter. Entered there, went straight into profit, and then went into some drawdown. Went inside the room, I look at the stop loss. The stop loss isn't bad. The stop loss is not bad. It's below these areas, which I love. I could have it tied up, right? But I don't like I say, I don't like tight stop loss. I say, okay, it ain't bad. I have a nice stop loss. I think I have a nice, and I think I got it from the bottom. It broke structure here. It broke this structure, and it broke this structure. So now I'm just going to trust God, trust that my analysis that I've back tested, I've studied day and night. I'm going to keep the faith that it's going to pan out and play out, right? Now look at this. I remember, if you guys remember, I said we have, see the directional part still there where I said you can look for your targets to go up to. I said this could be a nice entry to get into, and you could carry this all the way up to here. I did say that. And remember now I said something will be this tight, something could have been here because you could get a 1 to 4 I said off that trade, right? Look at that. You already would have been up or fall of 1 to 4 risk to reward already. If you had it here, if you had your stop loss like around where I had it, you would have almost a 3, almost a 4 to 1. You understand? And I think price still going to target these areas. Now, price might start to do some kind of pullback, because let's don't forget, this is a lot of bullish momentum right now. So price might try to fill in some gaps on this trade. But this trade, I was in this trade, let me see. I tell you right now, I was in the trade for where is it? 13 minutes. I hope you guys can see it. 13 minutes was in that trade for 13 minutes in the trade for got my 2 to 1 off of it, and I was done. So 2 to 1 came right at this area. So I got my 2 to 1 off this area right there, and that was me. Trade played out, and that's me for the day. Let's see how the rest of the pairs did. Nas came back to the zone. I was anticipating for it to come to. I cannot, for some reason, I can't. Every time I come on the sesh, I cannot remember what this would be called. I think it's called liquidity, where they would try to. It's like when they want to retest an area, they play around an area before actually tapping into it. I think it's called liquidity, where they try to build up, and then it goes tap the area and before going to where you need it to go. So price broke here, like I said earlier. I didn't like that because I head and shoulder. Okay, price broke this now at 9:30. Okay, right? Push down, but they didn't push aggressively down. One shot, like if you go on 50, maybe you'll see like this pushed up and pushed down. I said, okay, I want to see if price could tap back to this area, because there's also a demand around here. So now price finally tapped into that area. Didn't break your 13 EMA here, so you would never be able to enter the trade. Sold down some more, sold down some more. So remember now, I told you all of this would have been your demand. Respected that demand area, and look what it did. Rally up, and it's continuing and it's still going. So I don't know if this week is planned on filling gaps quicker, because this was a big push. And a little side note for those who just starting to learn how to trade, or those novice traders right now, when price makes a drastic shift in the market, like a big drop like this, where there's a drop or a buy, know that 9 out of 10 times it's going to try to fill this back up quickly. Like I remember there's times on gold when the session would just open up for 6 p.m. on Sundays, and gold would just drop. I mean, gold would have, I think it was one time gold, two times gold just bought up for like 4, 5, like 600 pips easy. And once I saw that, as soon as the candle started to show me some wick, I entered a sell. Had my stop loss just a little bit above those areas, and I always go for my 2 to 1, and I try to see if I can continue riding, but I always go for 2 to 1 because I know price going to fill in at least 50% of that gap ASAP. So like right here, there's a big gap. You see, as soon as price started to whip, price started to fill some of it, right? Which was, let's see how much this was, what price filled. You're going to catch 165 ticks off that on NAS, or one shot, right? And then you see price start to pull back whatsoever. So you have to be mindful of that. Like the one that I tried did last week, it didn't really make that much of a big, it made a gap. Where is it? Sunday. It made a gap now, right now. This is a nice gap that it made, right? But you notice, you see the difference? This was like 231 pips. NAS and 3 of them could do that with one candle on a regular. So because they could buy or sell like that on one regular, like if you actually catch a nice NFP, you'll see that NAS and 30, they good for that one shot with one candle even. So even though it's a gap, we have to understand that the markets are good for that. You understand? But now, when you come to seeing gaps that giving you 500-600 pips easy like this, know that price is going to start to do something to fill those gaps in. You understand? But yeah, that was a banger. This was a banger. Let me see if it finally, yep, it hit the targets that I said I was anticipating for it to hit, because look at this. It hit the negative 61, because I say if you actually add a fib on this, you actually had the impulse here. You watch your impulse. You watch your pullback all the way to the 100 retracement. Stop loss could have gone either at the 120 or the 110. Either one of them, your stop loss could have gone to. And like I said, you could carry this all the way up here. This is a 5 to 1 right there, if you would carry it just there. And this would have been a 4 to 1 if you carry it to the 120. And I don't know if price is trying to fill in all these gaps today, but yeah, the day was a good day, so I won't be trading. Obviously, I won't be trading tomorrow or Wednesday because I have to just punch a quick trade and take it back out because I already passed the challenge. So yeah, that's all I have for you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video today, the content. And just like I say, put God first. Trust in Him. Put the work in. Trust that you've done the work, that you are not shortcutting anything, and believe. Have faith. Faith as small as a mustard seed can move mountains. So have faith, trust and believe. But that's all I got for you guys. Peace and love. God bless you all.